Welcome back, guys, to Trevor's Train Station. I am your host, Trevor Shelley. Last time we explored the incredible age of steam, when steam locomotives ruled transportation across the world. Massive engines powered by fire and water carried people, freight, and dreams across thousands of miles of steel rail. Steam trains became symbol of progress. Progress. But like every great era in history, the age of steam would eventually come to an end. Today we arrive at the moment when railroads began replacing steam locomotives with new technology. A moment that changed rail trains forever. Today, stop the end of steam. All aboard. Alright, guys, so water bottle. So, guys, this first part we're going to be talking about is the peak of steam. And just for a reminder, guys, we do post every Monday at 10:30. I know I should be saying this every episode, but 10:30 in the morning, Eastern time. U.S. Eastern. All right, let's begin. Got my water, got everything. Okay, great. By the early 1900s, steam locomotives had reached incredible levels of power and engineering. Railroads built bigger and stronger locomotives than ever before. Some of the largest steam engines ever built appeared during this time. These machines could haul massive freight loads across mountains and long distance. Steam locomotive powered freight trains, passenger trains, military transport, international shipping. Railroads had become the backbone of global transportation. But despite their power and popularity, steam locomotives had problems. So, guys, with everything in nature, there's always something that has a problem. And for me, it's like, you look in this and say, it's a lot of podcasters. We get where we're going. We're going, boom, boom, boom. We're moving. For me, I'm always telling myself, there's never enough podcast work for me to do. Like, this is just season 1, guys. So after we get through the history, we'll actually be talking about different trains. So season 1 is about the history. Season 2, we would just have to wait and find out. Steam locomotives. Alright, my bad. The problems with steam. Steam locomotives were powerful, but they were also extremely demanding machines. They will require constant maintenance. Engineer crews had to manage fireboxes filled with coal, massive boilers under pressure, water supplies that constantly needed refilling. Steam engines also require large teams to operate. Typical steam locomotive crews included engineers, firemen, maintenance workers, yard workers. Railroads needed massive infrastructure to keep the steam engines running. Water towers, coal stations, maintenance shops. Steam locomotives also required frequent repairs. Boilers could wear down quickly. Parts needed a constant replacement. And running steam locomotives was expensive. Railroad companies began searching for something better. The rise of diesel locomotives. In the 1920s and the 1930s, a new technology began emerging: diesel electronic locomotives. These engines used diesel fuel to power electronic generators. Those generators powered electronic transaction motors connected to the wheels. Diesel locomotives offered huge advantages. They were more effective, easier to operate, less expensive to maintain, faster to start up. Unlike steam locomotives, diesel engines did not require hours of preparations before running. Steam engines had to build pressure. Diesel engines could start quickly. Railroad companies quickly noticed the benefits. And if you guys have looked at on our Facebook page, we actually have it where the train of North Carolina Transportation Museum actually had a train actually moving, which I got out on video going forward and backwards. And probably hearing me say, honk the horn. Did they? No. But that's alright. Let's pull it up. By the 1940s, the transportation begins. By the 1940s and then 1950s, many railroads began replacing steam locomotives with diesel engines. Diesel locomotives require smaller crews. They also traveled longer distance without stopping. Railroads began phasing out steam locomotives across North America and Europe. Steam engines that once dominated the railways began disappearing from service. Many were scrapped for metal. Some were replaced in museums. Others were abandoned in rail yards. For many rail fans and railroad workers, it felt like the end of an era. The final steam runs. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, steam locomotives were becoming rare. Most major railroads had fully switched to diesel power. The last regular steam locomotives in the United States ended service during that time. An era that had lasted over a century was coming to a close. But the story of steam locomotives didn't end completely. Many engines were preserved. Railroad museums began restoring them. And today, some historical steam locomotives still run on special heritage railways. The legacy of steam. Even though steam locomotives disappeared from everyday use, their legacy remains powerful. Steam trains helped build modern civilization. They connected cities. They powered industries. They made long-distance travel possible, and they shaped the growth of nations. Even today, the image of steam locomotives remains one of the most iconic symbols of transportation history. The sound of a steam whistle captures people's imagination. The age of steam may have ended, but the railroad stories was far from over. New technologies would continue pushing trains forward. Diesel locomotives would dominate the railroads. Electric trains would rise, and high-speed trains would change the future of transportation. Next time, here at the train station, we'll explore one of the most ambitious projects in railroad history. The railroad that connected an entire nation. The Transitional Railroad. I'm Trevor Shelley. Thanks for stopping by the train station. Remember, all aboard. Next stop, history.